Welcome to Star Citizen and the background story guide to the Bennu species. In the story guides, we refer in principle and exclusively to official sources of the CIG lore team, as well as all official publications and communications on the part of the developers. We leave fanfiction out of this. The Bennu are the first alien civilization with which humans have ever come into contact. They possess the technological abilities to terraform planets extensively in addition to quantum travel. Since the Bennu keep no historical records and inhabit many celestial bodies in various planetary systems, their actual origins are unknown. The UE assumes that the origin of the Bennu, or the center of this culture, is on the planet Bacchus, where the Bennu gather, which is not a permanent state. They are very adaptable and can, among other things, breathe in a variety of atmospheres and adapt to many environments that are not suitable for humans. The Bennu are trained from childhood by members of their Soli, a group of Bennu who live and work together, a kind of a clan structure. As a trader species, the Bennu maintain open trade relations with all civilization known to us. In fact, the Bennu are one of the few known civilizations to also have trade contacts with the Vandul, although there is a fragile peace here. The Bennu language has many dialects and forms, although all Bennu have the same writing system. Linguistically, there are groups that can only communicate with each other in writing. Therefore, there is no single Bennu language with this official designation, but rather a way of speaking like the Bennu people. Xenolinguists believe that this is partly due to the fact that they have no central homeworld and no centralized government. Humanity and the Bennu first came into contact in 2438, when the Nav jumper Vernon Tarr encountered a Bennu, of course outside the Davian system, on 12th of June 2438, initially mistaking it for another human. After a few warning shots at this presumed human threat, Tarr, who quickly realized it must be an alien species, sent the coordinates to what was then the United Nations. A delegation led by General Neil Sokovich was then immediately sent to the system to diplomatically prevent a possible escalation and initiate first contact. About 2 weeks later, representatives of the Bennu Protectorate arrived in the Davian system and made contact with Sokolovich. The first interstellar treaty in human history was finally concluded between the Bennu and the humans in October 2438. General Sokolovich himself negotiated the treaty directly with a representative of the Bennu Protectorate and signed it on behalf of humanity, which heralded an extensive social and trade alliance between Bennu and humans that was linked to the two species for more than 500 years. Due to the nature of Bennu culture, this agreement has had to be renegotiated once per Bennu generation ever since. The Bennu Protectorate, as a coalition of Bennu planetary systems, has the political system that represents the Bennu with its bureaucratic guilds. Political meetings and decisions are held as socio-political events, which do not take place regularly in the Baku system, to discuss issues that affect the Bennu as a whole. These mainly include legal and business issues, which are ultimately discussed and decided in this format. These types of meetings are held about 2 or 3 times a year, although it is also possible that there may be several years with no meeting of this kind at all. Bennu laws are different on every planet and are not subject to general validity, but are determined by individual groups. The most well-known Bennu festival, Luminalia. Probably the best-known custom that connects people with the Bennu is Luminalia, a festival that is celebrated every year on 22 of December. Here, the Bennu light festive lamps that burn until the fuel runs out, which takes about 2 Earth days. While these lamps are burning, all Bennu, no matter where they are considered as Soli, as one big community. To this end, they invite friends, business partners, and even strangers to share the feast with them and give them gifts. And all participants are expected to provide food, drinks and treats to celebrate. This, of course, includes Bennu's signature drink, Sloma, which is often drunk before the start of negotiations for new business agreements or at various social gatherings. Sloma consists of a liquid base that is adapted by adding various ingredients. After the mixture has been boiled for a few minutes, the resulting drink is called Sloma. For this, the host Bennu, the Slomadon, hands over a simply decorated vessel in which the Sloma is prepared. Here, this is partially already filled with a base liquid. Once the Slomadon is opened, each participant in the trade or meeting then has the opportunity to add their own additive. Spices are one of the most popular ingredients here, as they are easy to carry around and can drastically change the taste. However, any harmless food or drink is allowed, which allows for many variations and great tastes. Note, however, that foods that are harmless to Bennu or humans may be dangerous to Xian and Taverin. Although it goes without saying that the different dietary habits of other species must be taken into account. After the Sloma has soaked for a few minutes, the host passes the cups to the guests and trading partners. This creates an almost unique drink at each gathering, highlighting the importance and uniqueness of social contact for the Bennu. The first jointly celebrated Luminalia between Bennu and humans took place as early as 2438 in the Davian system, shortly after the Interstellar Peace and Trade Agreement between Bennu and humans on the ship Sol. And this custom quickly spread from system to system, with companies and traders using the celebration to increase their sales. But also in private, more and more people celebrated with their families, friends and relatives, which eventually led the UEE to officially recognize Luminalia as a holiday in 2557. Merchants and shops adapted previous Christmas traditions by hiding small wrapped gifts, which could be returned Bennu style, unopened in exchange for surprises, credits or small toys. This greatly increased the number of visitors and customers in the shops, which had boosted Christmas sales to such an extent that it eventually became a tradition in its own right. Today, Bennu and people commemorate Luminalia by exchanging gifts, lighting candles, gathering family, friends, business associates and acquaintances, celebrating together with food, drink and of course Sloma, as well as temporary discounts and green and red decorations. The Bennu structure, fleets, ships and their capabilities in battle. Bennu fleets are various sized collections of space stations and ships owned by different Bennu groups. These Bennu fleets usually operate as bustling markets and trading centers and serve as business hubs for their passengers. Most Bennu planetary systems are home to several fleets, which are governed by their own legal systems. Probably the best known Bennu ship is the Merchantman, which is a common type of ship both inside and outside the Bennu Protectorate. As a kind of generation ship, the Merchantman is not only a transport vessel, but also a mobile trading post with the most varied and diverse spaces on board, whereby merchants can directly display and trade their goods on board. Multi-species capabilities, a high degree of reliability, coupled with very robust properties distinguish the Merchantman as a ship that is also very popular with humans. Another of the Bennu's most famous ships is the two-seater Defender, which is often seen accompanying trade caravans. Equipped with 4 tachyon cannons, this defensive interceptor offers a good mix of speed and easy maneuverability. As with Bennu vessels, its exact origins are unknown, with the Defender also apparently possessing a mixture of technologies from various sources, including Xi'an. The Bennu are capable of assembling a formidable force if required, but do not have a permanently army or fleet of their own. However, the individual Banu militias of the various factions maintain peace in their systems on a daily basis. These militias operate on a rotating basis, drawing volunteers from various inhabited planets with the system to protect space objects. In the process, criminals are also in the service of these militias. Suffice it to say that crime abounds in the Bennu Protectorate. The unfortunate lack of communication between the various planetary systems means that criminals can jump from world to world without facing the threat of quickly detection or prosecution. And with the UEE forbidden by agreements with the Bennu to pursue criminals across borders, the Bennu Protectorate is a veritable paradise for UEE criminals. Official ways to obtain extradition of criminals are usually rarely used here. Creative solutions, where therefore necessary, do nevertheless track down fugitives and kidnap them for pursuit in order to smuggle them back into UEE territory. The renaissance of the bounty hunter. The Banu Religion and Society. The Banu religion consists of a wide range of beliefs about rituals and the cultivation of luck. In general, the Bennu focus less on the soul and more on the next life, and more on the feeling that there is something outside the physical world. It should be on your side and work in your favor. So the Bennu simply accept the gods of the religion they have encountered in their lives. Kessa, the patron saint of luck, and Turnen, the great traveler, have a strong following. The religious center here is in the Tri system, while the Bacchus assembly governs legally and politically. The council is responsible for the social and moral precepts that define and govern Bennu society. This council of faith acts independently of other institutions in this regard. The Bennu monk equivalents produce, among other things, extraordinary copper-based works of art, and doctors have already developed various medicines that have been shown to have a positive effect on human disease. Bennu who have achieved the highest social and political position are called Esosoli, who are often the most skilled craftsmen in their soli, or have accumulated the most wealth over time. The status of an Esosoli can be achieved through various means, not limited to elections, appointment, the assassination of another Esosoli, or the title through bribery. In Bennu culture, another living being can be bought for a limited period of time for one's own services, with Bennu children usually being sold in a suitable seal as students and give new skills as well as an education in exchange for shelter and food. At the end of this temporary period, the successful apprentice is then given full membership of their seal. Adult Bennu may thus sell their children for an education, to pay off debts, to make new contacts, or for other reasons. But captives can also be sold for profit. The Bennu Friendship Museum. The Bennu Friendship Museum was founded on Davian 4 in 2838, shortly after the Alliance came into force, and is intended to commemorate the strong-standing good relations between humans and Bennu. The museum houses a variety of exhibits and artifacts that tell the shared history of the UEE and the Bennu. Every year, millions of Bennu and humans visit this pilgrimage site of friendship. We have reached the end of this story guide and are already looking forward to the next one. Feel free to leave your opinions and comments here or join us live in the streams. I bid you farewell until next time and say, as always, see you in the verse.